do you think about networking and how serious should a young man that wants to go or a young entrepreneur take networking?
Networking is one of the best ways to success in our dispensation. I would put it that way. I don't want to say one of the easiest way because you shouldn't be vying for things that are so easy to get. Okay. It's one of the best ways to success. Networking, collaboration, and every individual that want to succeed should be able to take networking seriously. All right. Because what you have been chasing for 10 years, you might meet one person one day that might change the story of your life in just 10 minutes.
Welcome to Vic Influential Podcast, where we tell tales that inspires and educate. Today with me is Mr. Chima. We are going to learn a lot from him today. We are going to learn how to structure our mindset for success because we are see that he's growing. So we'll also learn how he's doing what he's doing. Mr. Chima.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Vic Influencer. I am very delighted. I'm excited to be on the show today.
Yeah.
We are hoping that today is going to be an amazing day. It's going to be very educative, inspiring, and motivating.
Yeah. How did I forget your surname?
No, you don't know my surname. You know Chima Michael only.
Okay. I know your surname, but it's wrong. I've seen it on LinkedIn.
Okay.
Yeah. So you traveled for December ending, right?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. How was it?
It was okay. It was fine. I traveled to my home country,
Yeah.
Nigeria, and yeah, it was okay.
So which part of the state did you spend much time?
I was in Anambra State. I was in Imo State. I was in Lagos State. I was in Abia State. Did I go anywhere else? I think these four states.
It
Yeah.
looks like you were busy for your as a president. You know the things you were doing here. Yeah, from these things you mentioned now, it looks like you were doing work
Yeah,
there.
I had a few engagements, but it was okay. It was eventful, actually.
All right, welcome back.
Thank you so very much,
Yes.
Mr. Vicky.
And also congratulations for your new milestone, right?
Thank you.
Can you tell us about it?
So that was my degree conferment in MBA, Energy and Sustainability. I studied with the University of the UCAM, the Catholic University of Spain. So yeah, I did the conferment last week. I think that was on the 18th of January.
Energy and sustainability.
Yes.
All right. So we are going to learn from you,
Inshallah.
So I will start my question by asking you, how did you get your mindset straight? In this world right now, social media and things. There are so many things to distract us.
Yeah.
So I want to learn, how did you get your mind on your goal?
I would say a short answer is intentionality. And to further buttress it is, if you know what you want and you pursue after what you want with all intentionality, you're going to have most of your goals achieved. It might not be immediate, but if you are consistent, it will eventually happen. All right. Because people get distracted, just like you said, and they get negatively influenced, thereby forgetting their visions, their goals, all right? And they stop it in between, like they will not get to that place and they will stop it. But if you're very intentional, you know why you've started and you want to reach to that peak, that vista, that zenith, you're going to continually doing it, and inshallah, you're going to get there.
So you have to be intentional.
Intentionality, yes, that is the key word. You have to be intentional.
Yeah, break it down for us. Intentional is if you want to do something, you make sure that thing you tick it.
Okay.
So explain to us what you mean by intentional and how can you be able to be intentional.
All right. So these things, they work with the mind, the mindset. All right. So For a person to be intentional, first of all, I would want you to understand that every individual has got a specific template of life. All right. So you have your own template of life. I have my own template of life. Now, when I try to use your own template because of the influence or affluence that you possess, then I miss the road. Okay. Intentionality is all about self-realization, following your template, and ticking the box daily. Like I said, the results might not be immediate, but it will come eventually. All right. Intentionality also has to do with discipline. All right. And when we say discipline, what do we mean by discipline? Discipline is all about a controlled behavior for you to be able to control yourself, control your finance, control your hunger, your thirst for a lot of things. So when you are that disciplined and you're ticking your boxes daily, you're going to see most of these goals being achieved as you have programmed them.
How many times have you seen movie this year?
This year I've not watched movies. So I had a friend visit me. That was 2 days ago. So that was when I knew that the Netflix was not working. It was not my Netflix. So I had to call one of my guys, Mr. Oswald. Why did you log me out of from your Netflix?
Why you calling him out?
Netflix account. And so he said, no. He changed the password and all that. So I've actually not been disposed to watch movie this year, but
Yeah. Well,
maybe.
what you know why I asked this question? Some people will be so busy that they forgot that movie. There is something called movie. When they come, they will not even for people that watch on the phone and something like that. So I wanted to ask if it has to do with you or you intentionally say movie is a distraction because of what I'm going after. So that is why I asked you that question.
Okay, so movie uh might not be distraction, depends. All right. So for people now that are in the movie industry, like filmmaking and all, so they need to watch always to improve themselves. All right. There are educative movies as well, but I tend to do this at my spare time. It's been a very choky year already. So I've not been able to watch, not because I want to say it is so bad, but because I've not had time for it. I've not set priority for it yet. Yeah. So whoever is watching movies, if it is educative and it is making them improved, then it's okay. It's fine. I mean, somebody was asking me, what do I do for fun? What are my hobbies I do for fun? I was trying to first understand what the meaning of fun is, like, do I do fun? It sounds crazy, but I really do not know what I do for fun. I just know I love being around people. We talk, and when we go, everybody will go and face their duties and all. I'm not too serious in life. People will be like, this guy is just too serious in life. He say, no, that's not it. We all have our templates, and this is my own template of life.
I was checking yesterday how many hours or minutes I spent on YouTube.
Okay.
I found out that yesterday I spent at least minimum of 4 hours
For us.
listening to podcast
So
daily.
this is because it is what you do and you want to improve, so you're giving it time. But you cannot watch this Jackie Chan and this thing for 4 hours. You see, that is it. So we have chefs also there on YouTube searching for things. So if it is for the purpose of research, then I actually recommend it.
Yeah, but it's not like I would take my phone. I would just on it, then just use a earpiece, put the phone. Yeah, something like that. I'll be doing what I'm doing, just
Okay.
be listening to what they are doing. So the next question I wanted to ask you is for a young man.
Yeah.
Most of our young men, I think, or I feel, I don't know how this thing is coming about.
Okay.
That young men need to get serious
Okay.
right now, because I think there are a lot of things to do, even if there are distractions around us right now. But the world is seriously moving.
Okay.
Like, see the revolution, AI, the way AI is going right now. So you will see that a lot of young men overseas are doing this thing. But also our young men in Africa don't know where the world is going and how other young men are taking their life and career serious. So I want to ask you, how can a guy just have a change of mind, or what do you think our men should be doing that we take their time a little bit out from something like TikTok or Instagram to develop their mindset, to develop their mindset. Let them build a mindset of hunger. You understand what I
Yeah,
mean? How
yeah.
can our young men build a mindset of hunger to pursue what is necessary for themselves?
All right, thank you. See, in a place where there is no promotion of positivity, there will be escalation of negativity. All right. So when you don't promote things that are positive, you're going to see people doing negative things. Talking about brothers down there in Africa, how they live their lives and how they can get developed. TikTok, by the way, you mentioned. I think TikTok, people are getting money from TikTok, by the way.
Yeah,
Right?
but
So
not all of them. Yeah, people are getting money, but
okay.
people who are doing TikTok with the intention of just enjoy themselves.
Okay.
If you get on TikTok and
Mm,
you are not mindful,
mm,
you spend hours there.
true.
You did not get anything from it other than just laughing.
Okay. So the what I would say is for development,
Mm.
self-development, it has to come with hunger. You have to be hungry for it. All right. So there is a popular saying that goes to us that you can take a horse to the river, but you cannot force that horse to
To
drink
drink.
water.
Yeah.
All right. So we can give out all the information, all the motivation that is required, but it depends on that individual that is listening. All right. Because people also say the best advice anybody would give you is the one you give to yourself. Okay. Now, you are doing this because you've done your research. You've seen that you want to do this. You have passion for it. You have hunger for it. You're doing it. All right. So if somebody comes to drag you away from what you're doing, maybe you might go home to evaluate. If it is not what you want to do, you're not going to do it. So the development should actually come from them first agreeing that they want to get developed.
Yeah.
All right. Again, is the promotion of positivity. All right. Let people be able to talk about positivity because see, when you open the news, sometimes, especially where we are coming from, you barely hear good news. 85% of the news we hear is negative news. Either this person killed this person robbed this one, insecurity here, hunger there, and these things, they affect the mind. All right. So we as a people, we can do well to project positivity, to project encouragement. All right. So it goes in the minds of these people and they realize, and we should share success stories as well. Yeah. We should be able to share success stories. That is why in any of my speaking engagement, I love telling people, say, this is me telling you what I passed through. I've not gotten to the peak of whatever I'm wishing for in life. But where I am right now, I'm telling you that look at what I did to get to where I am. You're going to see the practical example.
Yes.
Now, you're encouraging somebody there that is looking at himself or herself to say that I don't think I can make it again in life. When they look at their poor background, when they look at the society, that the government is not even giving them the opportunities and all, they will lose hope in life. All right. But when you tell them about your success story, when you tell them where you're coming from and how it has been, now somebody is going to be motivated. Somebody is going to be elevated to go and try something very positive. So I think this way we can not eradicate, but reduce the unnecessary things that our youths or men are getting involved in.
There are something I will tell you that I gained something from church when I was going some church because as a youth, so I belonged to one of the departments in the church.
Hmm.
So this was in Lagos, and at the point in time, I was not going again. So most of the people I was hanging out with. So one of them started reaching out to me, Victor, why are you no longer coming to church or the program we do evening time? Why are you not coming? I was saying, I'll be giving so much excuses. So this guy called me one day, come, I'm in the church, so time, let's just talk. So we're not interacting. So I was doing this, doing that, born again, not born again. So I feel like I'm just feeling myself. The guy said, no, that is Satan speaking to you. Okay, let me tell you this now. The only thing you cannot do is to fly.
Okay.
Apart from flying, you can do anything you want to do because it's not possible to fly because of gravity.
Mm.
So that one, take it out.
Mm.
Any other thing you can think of,
Mm.
you can do. I tried it and I got results. I tried it, I got results. And since I knew that it worked, Started telling myself, whatever I want to do, I can't. There is nothing I said. This podcast that we're doing now, I used to come and film you guys,
Yeah,
right?
I remember.
Doing this thing.
Yeah.
So listening to you guys, I started doing research. So I started doing, how can I do this? How can I improve? How can I, be able to ask questions and all that? I started doing research and I started watching podcasts and I started reading also. So it got me to improve. And since that time, I've seen milestone. And I started trying, going on the street to interview people. That was when I made up my mind. Okay, we are going to do this, but I need a trying stage, to take out the shame or camera shy. This thing they say camera shy. I started from the street. Now we're here.
Mm.
Started shooting 3 times in a week now. So the aim, if we're able to get 50% of what we want this year, the aim from next year should be shooting every day. At that time, it becomes a media. So
Alhamdulillah.
that
I
is
would just want to top up on what you have said. Uh, Martin Luther King Jr., he quoted, he said, if you cannot fly, you run.
mm,
If you cannot run, you walk. If you cannot walk, you crawl. In whatever you do,
do something.
just be sure that you are moving.
Yes.
Don't be static. All right. So it comes to a submission to agree that we actually need to try something. All right. So many people are afraid, fear of failure. What will people say? All right. So there is a saying that goes to us, jack of all trades, master to none. But you fail to understand that that jack is a person of so many experiences. He has done this trade, done that trade. He has got so many experiences, and that experience might be his escape route in the nearest future. So the idea behind this is, what I love about what you just explained is, you tried it out. If you don't try, you're not going to know how it tastes. All right. Try it out, see what works. Do your research. One of the most important things you said here is you made your own research. All right. People don't just venture into businesses without research. People don't just try to venture into career without research. Like I said, everybody has got their own template of life. You cannot come and start to say, I want to do podcasts because Victor is in podcasts, without you making your research, without you trying to make sure that this is what you want to do. You have passion for it. You have a drive for it. All right. You cannot say you want to do my profession, maybe being a chef, being a safety officer, being whatever, because you see somebody is doing it and is doing it well. So how about that is not what you have passion for? You're going to break along the road. So if you see something that somebody is doing that you admire, it is okay to want to be like that person. Go back, do your homework, go to the drawing board, tick your boxes, ask, search on Google, chat GPT. What are the qualities required for this podcasting? What are the qualities required for being a chef? What are the qualities required being a governor? Then you check what you have. What do I have at the moment? Okay, there are 10 qualities for this. I have 3. Now you check the remaining 7. Will I be able to get this remaining 7? What do I need to do to get this? Where do I need to go? Which people do I need around me? If all these things are feasible, they are things you can get, then you pursue it. If you see that you cannot be able to achieve this, all right, so you leave it. That is where we have SMART analysis, all right, where S is for specific, M is for measurable, A is for attainable, R is for realistic. You have to be realistic to yourself to say, realistically, I cannot achieve this. You leave it. Start to pursue what you can achieve, what is realistic at that point in time. So that way, you're going to be climbing the ladder of success gradually. Yeah.
And take it serious.
You have to be very serious. Yeah.
That's one you think you can realize. You take it.
Most times I even imagine if you do sleep also, I was before the podcast, I was asking how are you managing work and this podcasting. You said you shot yesterday, you're shooting today, and next week you're shooting for 3 days. So these things are actually signs of seriousness and sacrifices. However, try to the rest of, so that they don't call me and tell me you have high BP.
I don't even know whether I get BP to be high. But I wanted to ask you, right?
Yeah.
How do you self-analyze? And what is the benefit of self-analyzing?
Okay, there's what we call benchmarking. In the corporate world, they call it benchmarking. All right. So you self-analyze yourself when you positively compare yourself. Okay. because there are people that are into comparison negatively. It is okay to benchmark. It is okay to compare. If I'm doing podcasts, you're doing podcasts. We started at the same time. We have the same niche, and you're doing better than me. I would analyze. I would want to benchmark. What am I not doing rightly? Okay, is it that I don't my thumbnails, they're not okay? The way I present myself in the podcast, is it not okay? So you analyze yourself for you to be able to take corrections. All right, there's what we call continuous improvement. My dad will always say knowledge is unendable. He tells me each time I be with him, he says that if you stay in this world for 90 years and you top another 2 days before you die, that 2 days you top, you're going to learn something new you never knew for 90 years. All right. So that is why continuous improvement is very, very important. When you self-analyze, you're going to have room for continuous improvement. You're going to see lapses. You're going to see areas of your strength, areas of your weaknesses. It's very, very important. Yeah. So even the company, in the corporate world, the organization, they call it SWOT analysis. All right. Where S stands for strength of the company, W stands for weakness of the company, O stands for opportunities of the company, and T stands for threats. Okay, so as an individual, you also need to check these things. Check your environment, check your society, check what you do, check your competitors. These are how organizations do before they excel. You go to the aviation airline, Emirates Airline is there, Qatar Airlines is there, Fly Dubai, Etihad, Singapore. Those people, they are there. Everybody want to be on that toppest ladder. They want to make sure that they overcome their competitors to be the best in the market. So you as an individual, a podcaster, that you know your aim, you know your vision, you should look at these things also. What should you do to be the best of your kind in what you do?
Yeah, and I was wanted to ask you that question. Right now, because my last guest, Kishnuma, the person I interviewed last week Thursday,
Yeah.
I told her that this is my first startup. Right now, I'm treating this thing as a company, and I'm seeing myself as an entrepreneur.
Okay.
And what I mean is, I'm not going to let this one die, and it's never going to die. So anytime I'm doing something, I want to improve in every aspect of this thing that I'm doing right now. So I want to ask you, how do you think I should take this thing to the next level? And following me along the way, because we've been working since, what do you think I should improve on this set? Now it's important to say it here, people will hear it, and because of you saying it here will also get me to stay on it right now.
Okay. Firstly, we need to understand also that there is what we call value system. All right. So if I come to you to get your commodity, it's because your commodity is valuable to me. You're putting on this shirt, this trouser, I'm putting on this because they are valuable to me. I see them as amongst every other clothes or shirts or whatever in the boutique. You choose this because you like them. All right. So people will choose your product when it is beneficial to them, when it is valuable to them. All right. What are the things you need to do, or what do you think are things you need to hold on to see that it grows? Understand also that the ladder to greatness, it does not happen overnight, especially when you don't have one very big man, one very big influencer, to come and post you everywhere. You're doing this on your own. You're starting from the scratch. You started from the scratch and you're growing it gradually. So it's not going to be something that happened overnight, but it's going to happen eventually. And now, hospitality for your guests. Whoever comes to your show should want to come again. All right. Whoever comes to your show should feel that welcomeness. You feel that, oh, this guy is a very promising individual. This guy is very ambitious. This guy is passionate. When people see the passion in you, they would want to support what you do. When people see how consistent you are, they want to support what you do. All right. And again, having people express themselves, let people be able to share their success stories. I tell you, this is one of the things that motivate people out there. We have a lot of motivational speakers, but they don't share anything realistic. They go to ChatGPT, they go to Google to go and make researches. If they are good orators, if they know how to talk well, they just repeat the same thing there, and you'll be clapping for them. But when you check their track record, when you check their life, they have not practicalized it. They don't have that practical experiences.
They've not lived what they are talking about.
Exactly. So let your guests be able to share their life experiences. I understand you treat diverse topics. All right. So they might not have the opportunity all the time, but it's when the opportunity comes up, let them be able to share their success story. Because I tell you, there are so many, the percentile of people up there is very little compared to people down. So there are so many people down there that need just one idea, one information that will change their life. They might have been hearing so many things, but you don't know. Maybe lives might be changed from here. A person you invite, they tell their success story. Somebody else might be suffering from it, and their life gets changed. So I think these are the things I think you should focus on. Be consistent on them. You've always been consistent. You keep it up. Gradually, you're going to get to that ladder. But if you get there, don't forget us.
Where do you think I'm lacking?
Let me think. Let me think. Okay, so I think we've discussed this offset, but because you've asked, let me say it here. So I think
so I'm asking for brutal feedback. Yes.
Okay, so I think at times you don't allow your audience the opportunity to express themselves.
Okay.
All right. So this might be because of you are the vision bearer, you are the visioneer, you know what you want, you know the outcome of what you want. However, when audience come, indirectly I mentioned it when I was saying hospitality. Okay. But just to make it black and white. Yeah. I think audience should be able to express themselves. All right. Let them talk. Let them talk. Let them talk. Okay. So it is up to you to say, okay, you want to include this and you want to include that. So I also think that you are working on stage fright.
So it is amazing that you cannot point out to let two things that I need to improve on. So it gives me joy. It gives me joy to see that I'm actually improving, because there was a time if I ask you where should I improve, you mentioned this, you
Yes.
go on, go on.
Yes.
Go on. So it is good that I actually ask you on set, so that I can always go back to the video even if I did not remember.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So what do you think about networking, and how serious should a young man that wants to go, or a young entrepreneur, take networking?
Networking is one of the best ways to success in our dispensation. I would put it that way. I don't want to say one of the easiest way, because you shouldn't be vying for things that are so easy to get. Okay. It's one of the best ways to success. Networking, collaboration, and every individual that want to succeed should be able to take networking seriously. All right. Because what you have been chasing for 10 years, you might meet one person one day that might change the story of your life in just 10 minutes. All right. And when I say story of your life, it's not as if you're going there to beg people to help you, going there to, to convince people. No, you are doing what you know how to do, but you need people that can lead you well. You need people that can mentor you. That is where mentorship comes in. That is where role model comes in. While networking, first look for people that are ahead of you. All right. It is better to network upward than to network downward. When you network downward, chances are that you are going to be relaxed in your comfort zone. All right. There is a saying that goes to us that if a person is mingling with 5 rich men, the 6th person is around the corner. Who is the 6th person? That person that is networking with 5 people. All right. So it is important that you network upward, because see, when, for instance, you're doing podcasts, you want to network, and you're networking with somebody that is a newbie, all right, that might have so many online experiences and ideas, but not practical experiences.
Yes.
Those ones, they cannot give you what you want. You need people that have passed through your own route, this road, people that have faced these challenges, all right, this stage you are now, because of course you're going to be facing challenges, and how they conquered it. It might not work exactly the same way for you, but you have the idea. So networking is very, very paramount. It's very, very important for anybody that wants to succeed. We cannot do it all by ourselves. There is something this Asians do that I appreciate so much. All right.
Yeah.
What we call collaboration. One person might have the idea, second person might have 10% of the money, third person might have the resources, the manpower, and all. So they come together as a team to say, you can even have up to 7 people open a company. All right. To say, let us do this. And they do it. Whether or not it is going to cause problem later in the future, that is a different story altogether. But what I'm saying is the mindset for collaboration. All right. But where we are coming from, it happens, but it's very minimal. All right. People are scared of their money. People want to eat it alone. People, they don't want to share the interest, but it doesn't work that way. So these are some of the benefits of networking. And I advise everybody out there, regardless of your career, your position, whatever you do, network with people. When I say don't network downward, I don't mean you should not have people like that around you. I'm saying the people in your network, they should be more of people you should be looking up to, not more of people you should see as your subordinates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, another thing is because part of this podcast, is how to progress in your career in whatever you're doing.
Okay.
So, and most of the question I'm going to ask, or I have been asking so far, is for me because 80% of it is for me. So my dream sometimes scares me.
Okay.
And part of it is I want to grow this. I want to grow this platform to be able to host head of states, to
Okay.
be able to be hosting CEOs, to be able to be hosting people that matters in the states, in the country. So what trajectory do you think I should take from now going forward? What do you think? You've been seeing most of the places I post my videos, right? What trajectory do you think I should take and take it serious to be able?
Okay, so I mean, this is for you, and this is for every other person that have got a very big dream that scare them. All right. There's what we call long-term vision or plans or short-term plans. All right. The end point for you is to see that you invite head of states to your podcast. That is the end point. And now, where you are right now, you're inviting CEOs, you're inviting, some people. That is point A and point B. Now the question is, what do you need? How are you going to go about it to be able to reach point B? One is, it is one step at a time. Now, if I come for your podcast and my network of friends, they get to see it and they get to hear what we discuss and they get to see the impact in the society, it is going to get to some extent. You don't even need to start telling people, come and feature. No, they'll be the ones calling you. I want to feature on your podcast. All right. So my answer to you is, you start it from the short term. If you have a long term, leave the long term, but do a short term. It might be a 6 months, it might be a 6 month plan. It might be a 2 month plan to say in 2 months, I want to meet so and so people. I want to post this number of videos. Now, when you are able to achieve it, you move a step higher to say, okay, I've been able to conquer these people. I want to go now to maybe Saudi Arabia. I want to go to Qatar. I want to go to the Europe to invite people. Then maybe if you have the resources to transport them, their hospitality and all, gradually when you're going it that way, all right. So eventually you're going to be there. Don't settle for less. Nobody should settle for less, because what happens in most cases is that when people start having a bit of an influence, when they start seeing a bit of an affluence also, they get very comfortable to be like, of course, I can feed 3 times daily. I've built mansions there. I can travel. So they forget the reason why they started in the first place. All right. There are people like you that have this ambition, but when they get to the level or the stage of governors, they become very proud to say, of course, how many governors have you caught? And they fail to reach to their peak. So it is consistency, continuation. When you continue in that limelight and you try to top when you meet me, you say, how far do I have anybody better than me for you to interview? Of course, I should have, and I will tell you, okay, I'm giving you this person for you to interview. That person also, if you treat the person where it's going to bring somebody bigger, and eventually you're going to get there.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much for your time, and thank you very much for your advice. So another thing I wanted to ask you, the branding.
Okay.
I also got somebody sent me message today.
Okay.
Somebody she will be on my podcast on the 7th of next month, but she's trying to see. I'm saying this now. Maybe I know. I'm sure she will see this video. So, what do you think is branding important? How important do you think branding is to what I'm doing right now, and how should I go about it?
Okay. In our adage, they say, "Ihe onye kpọrọ nkịta ya ka ọ na-aza." What it means is that if you get a dog, you buy a new dog, does not have name, forget about the old name or whatsoever, and you call that dog Victor. All right. So when you continue calling that dog Victor, for the first or second time, that dog is not going to pay attention to you. Even up until the 10th time, maybe it might not pay attention to you. But when you're consistent, all right, so when you're sitting here and the dog is there, you call Victor, Victor, the dog will come.
I'm wondering why you're using Victor.
Because you're the one that asked me about branding. So now it means you've branded that dog.
Yeah.
All right. And you've made the name Victor. Branding is very, very important. Very, very important. I used to tell anybody around me that your representation matters. Your representation is your branding. Okay. So it is important to you because people need to know what you represent. All right. People need to know what you do. We do podcasts here. Everybody, a lot of people do podcasts. So what is your niche? You brand. Maybe you might have like 3 keywords, society, educational development. So this is you. This is what you signify. This is, whoever sees you will identify you to this thing to say this is this person's identity. All right.
Yeah.
So that is why it is important for you for what you do. It is very, very important. And if you don't give yourself a name, people will call you what they like. Okay. If you don't give yourself that branding, people from anywhere can call you what they like. Of course, a lot of people that are making waves right now, doing so many great things, they have branding. It could be personal branding, it could be organizational branding, it could be company branding. They do brandings. It is very, very important. Do not joke with it.
So I want to ask you about social media.
Yeah.
Like in social media, I think that it used to be vlogging. 2-3 years ago. Going backwards, it used to be everybody comes on social media.
Yeah.
They see vlogging. Right now, what do you think is making way for people? Maybe people that will see this video and they are still trying to consider, even if those people can speak right now. What do you think is kind of niche people should venture into on social media if that is what they want to do?
Okay, so it depends now on what they want to achieve. All right. So social media is very, very broad. There are people that mimic people. I've seen some guys from Africa. Only what they do is to mimic some big men of God. All right. So they speak like them, they talk like them. For them, it is content, and they are making wave there. All right. For some people, it's skit making. For some people, it's comedy. For some people, it is similar to what you're doing. Youth empowerment, youth development, self-development, trying to teach people the right things. All right. Everybody has got what they want to do. Okay. So for upcoming content creators that want to create content, they should first of all find what they have passion for. All right. What do they want to do? What passion do they have for, a particular thing? Then let them first go make research. I used to tell people, don't just jump into it. You make your research, you try, you ask questions, you spend your time to go and meet people in the field, spend your money to tell them, okay, Alpha, I have 5,000 francs, 10,000 francs, 5,000 naira, 10,000 CDs, whatsoever. Come, let us go and just have a quality time. In the course of your discussion, you're going to see that you have benefited something. That way is going to help you to at least start up. All right.
People that have something to give.
That is where
that
is where the research should come in, right? So it depends now on your audience. You might have a lot of things to give. Now, who are you giving it to? All right. So you need to also check your targeted audience. Who are you giving it to? Do they actually want what you want to give? You might have so many things to give, but the market where we are, they don't want what you're selling. They don't want your commodity. They don't want your product. So what do you have to do? Either you shift the target audience elsewhere, or you try to adapt in the society, in the environment where we find ourselves.
Yeah, there is this intro I have within the 1 to 2 minutes of my video. And at the end of that intro, I will say business podcast.
Mm.
It's on my intro. And every Monday, I have something I call regular Monday real estate because every Monday I'm shooting real estate
Oh,
video.
okay.
Yeah, I have a real estate podcast every Monday. I'm shooting with Mr. Emmanuel, a
Okay.
Nigerian real estate consultant here.
Okay.
So, and it's also moving forward. People are seeing the videos on Facebook. People are really engaging, watching, dropping their comments. Most of them don't believe that what we are saying is true. Yeah, most people that will come and comment some things that they're from Africa, they will say they don't believe what the guy is selling because they cannot imagine it, right?
Yeah.
So the kind of branding I want to do is business branding.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to be able to come on this platform and sell something during the podcast.
Okay.
So that is why I told you from next year, if inshallah, the 50% of my plan should work this year because I am consistent and
Yeah.
I'm giving myself feedback. I'm
Yeah.
trying to grow from my previous video,
Mhm.
right? So if everything 50% of it works out, next year I'm supposed to be shooting Monday to Friday. Every day that is 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Every
Wow.
day. That is my dream from next year, what I want to achieve next year. And during that live video is going to be live. From that 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock will be live, doing commenting on is it news, something that concerns us.
Mm.
Sell things that I need to sell, call to action, sell things that I need to sell. And after that podcast that day, I still post it that day. It
Yeah.
happened. So this is why I asked you that question. What do you think people should be doing? So I think that if you are somebody that wants to sell something,
Mm-hmm.
you should go into podcasting.
Okay.
So it must not be talking professionally, talking about AI or all these things.
Yeah.
You can actually be coming, telling people about that your product, how you came about it, the research, how you get to do your product and the quality, just be teaching people about that thing you're selling. So this is what I think, and I learned this thing from people the people that are already doing it. I'm seeing the results,
The impact.
right?
So
Yeah.
there's what we call dynamism. Dynamism in the sense that people can actually craft their own niche. Okay, craft their niche in the sense that when you say you want to do podcasts, when you say you want to do content, when you say you want to do whatever you want to do, you can craft it in your own way to suit your own vision. Because at the end of the day, you are the vision bearer. If I have a vision, if I have a dream right now, I'm the vision bearer. I am the one that know what I actually want to achieve.
Yeah.
So I am the one that will craft it in a way that it is going to yield that result that I have in mind. Yeah. So I advise people to be very dynamic, all right, in whatever they do. Just the way you're thinking now, being creative in their thoughts, it is very, very important because it is going to help you differ from others. It is going to help you be the original of yourself. I see a lot of people trying to copy paste people, all right? So they try to live other people's lives. It is not supposed to be so. You have to learn from people, all right? You have to consult people. You have to have mentors. You have to be mentees under people, all right? However, do not try to copy paste people's lives on your own life. Okay, somebody might say, there is no way I can be original and be like Elon Musk. Elon Musk, maybe when he was starting, he didn't know he was going to reach to where he is. All right. Well, he kept on pushing, and a lot of other people out there. So be original. All right. Be original. Don't be on that low ladder for a very long time. Go out there, network with people, be sure of your environment, check what the market needs, check what you have, check where you need to improve. Just like you said you go back to your videos, all right, to see where you need to improve, which is very, very commendable. Okay, so that is what people need to do, and gradually they are going to, get up to that ladder.
I do that almost every day, and I also ask my guest yesterday.
Okay.
I asked him to give me brutal feedback yesterday, and he was also laughing, right?
Wow.
So I like, if you're somebody that is scared, you don't want feedback, no matter how ugly it is, you're not going anywhere.
True.
So you need to take it. You need to
Mhm.
swallow it, and you need to make sure when you ask that person that question next time,
Yeah,
he will have nothing to say.
very correct.
So
Very correct.
that is how you move forward.
I agree.
And I think we've talked at length
Okay.
right now.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you, what do you think I should do going forward?
I think we've touched that briefly. Already you're consistent. That is one thing everybody will tell you, be consistent. You've also touched that you'd go back to previous videos to see. You've also touched that you spend 4 hours on YouTube, to make research to see what's happening there. You've also touched that you ask people for feedback, you know. So I think you are doing almost everything that is required to be done. Okay. Again, I'll still reiterate on consistency. Be consistent. Don't forget your dreams, don't forget your vision, just stick to it. And if you continue in this space, you're going to, get better and better and become the best eventually.
Yeah. So I would not like to take much of your time.
It's okay.
Yeah. So if this is your first time coming across Vic Influential podcast, if not part of this community, I will ask you to subscribe, comment, and share this video because it's very, very important. And I don't know how long you've been following us. Okay, let's assume that this is your first time. My podcast is about growth. It's about growth, mostly business. Talking to young people is based young. How should I say it? Focused on letting young men know that they can do whatever they want to do. And me speaking right now, I think I am still at the trenches, but I am sure I am going to leave it in no time. So I am focused on everything that I'm doing. I have give it 100%. So if this is the kind of thing that you like to do, please go on this journey with me. And I promise, because dishing out value to you every week, we are posting 3 times every week for now. Till next year that we plan to go massive by the grace of God. Again, all the advice I asked him, all the questions I asked him, I tried to use myself. So it also applies to you. I'm using myself, but it applies to you. So I think everything he said is what you should apply on your journey. So subscribe to this video if you've not subscribed. Please share it. Please like it. And see you on my next video.